I can do it. Believe in your own possibility. There comes a time in every person's life when they are faced with the harsh question, am I enough? It is in these moments that we either shrink back in fear or rise with resilience. When you say to yourself, I can do it, you are not simply repeating empty words. You are choosing to believe in your own possibility, despite how difficult the circumstances may be. Believing in yourself is not about ignoring your flaws, it is about embracing them, transforming them, and realizing that they are not obstacles, but stepping stones toward growth. Many times, people around you will doubt your potential. They may tell you what you cannot achieve. They may even laugh at your dreams. And sometimes their voices become louder than your own. But Muniba Mazari often reminds us, don't let the world decide your limits. You are the one who defines them. This is the first step to silence the noise and choose your own voice. Belief is powerful because it shapes action. When you believe in your capability, your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your determination strengthens. And this belief does not have to come from external achievements or validation. It can come from within. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It does not know how tall it will grow, but it stretches anyway because growth is written into its nature. Similarly, growth and strength are written into you. Saying I can do it is the act of watering your own seed of possibility. It is telling yourself that no matter how dark the soil feels, you will rise toward the light. However, belief is not always easy. Life will test it. You will face rejection, failure, and disappointment. You may fall more than once, and sometimes even lose hope in your own ability. But remember, belief does not mean you never fall. It means you stand up one more time than you fall. It means you wipe your tears, gather your courage, and whisper again, I can do it. When you practice this resilience, you slowly build the habit of self-trust. And when you trust yourself, the impossible begins to look possible. Believing in yourself also means accepting the journey of imperfection. So often, we wait for the perfect time to act. We think we need to be smarter, richer, stronger, or more talented before we begin. But life does not wait for us to be perfect. It rewards those who try despite imperfection. Muniba Mazari herself is living proof of this. When life took away her ability to walk, she chose not to let it take away her ability to dream. She chose to paint. She chose to speak. She chose to inspire. And in doing so, she proved that even broken wings can make you fly. You too can do it, not because the path will be smooth, but because you will keep walking even when it is rough. Every time you affirm your belief, you strengthen your spirit. Think of all the people who made history. They were not free of fear. They were not exempt from failure, but they were unshakable in their belief. They told themselves, I can do it, when the world doubted them. And that inner belief eventually became the foundation of their success. Belief is contagious as well. When you believe in yourself, you unconsciously give others permission to believe in themselves too. Your confidence lights a spark in them. Your courage becomes their reminder. That is why choosing to say I can do it is not only a personal act, but also a gift to those around you. So, the first key in this journey of empowerment is to believe in your own possibility. Even if no one else claps for you, clap for yourself. Even if no one else believes in you, dare to hold on to your own faith. You are stronger than your fears, braver than your failures, and more capable than you can imagine. And every time you say those 4 words, I can do it, you are rewriting the story of your life with courage, hope, and resilience. Turn pain into power. Life has a way of breaking us in places we never imagined. Sometimes the pain comes suddenly, like a storm that shatters everything in its path. Sometimes it is slow, like drops of water that erode a rock over years. And in those moments of deep pain, we feel powerless, defeated, and alone. But Muniba Mazari's story teaches us that pain is not the end of the journey. It can be the beginning of transformation. When you whisper to yourself, I can do it, even through tears, you are making a conscious choice. You are choosing to turn pain into power. Pain itself is not always in our control. We cannot always stop accidents, betrayals, losses, or illnesses from touching our lives. But what we can control is how we respond. Will we let pain cage us, or will we let it mold us into stronger beings? When Muniba Mazari faced her life-changing accident, she had every reason to give up. But she chose a different path. She transformed her pain into art, into words, into a mission to uplift others. She decided that if life had closed one door, she would build another. And that is the essence of turning pain into power. It is not about escaping your suffering, but about reshaping it into something meaningful. The truth is, pain introduces us to parts of ourselves we never knew existed. It tests our endurance, our faith, and our inner strength. Many times, We do not discover our courage until life pushes us into the fire. And while the fire burns, it also purifies. It melts away illusions and excuses, leaving behind the raw truth of who we really are. In that truth lies the seed of power. When you acknowledge your pain instead of denying it, you give yourself permission to transform it. Instead of saying, "Why me?" you begin to say, "Try me." That shift alone is enough to ignite your spirit. Turning pain into power also requires perspective. We often look at challenges as barriers, but what if they are bridges? What if every setback is redirecting you toward a stronger version of yourself? Sometimes the very thing that hurts you becomes the reason you rise. Think about a broken bone. When it heals, it often becomes stronger than before. The same happens with the human spirit. Every scar tells a story, every wound carries wisdom, and every struggle shapes resilience. So instead of hiding your scars, let them become reminders of your courage. They are not signs of weakness, they are evidence of survival. Another way to turn pain into power is through purpose. Pain without direction can drown us, but pain with purpose can carry us. When you connect your struggles to a greater mission, your suffering becomes meaningful. Muniba Mazari turned her wheelchair into a stage, not to ask for pity, but to remind the world that brokenness does not mean uselessness. Her pain became her power because she used it to inspire others. And you too can do the same. Your experiences, no matter how difficult, can light the path for someone else. Your words, your story, your resilience might be exactly what someone needs to hear to keep going. The transformation from pain to power is not instant. It is not a single decision, but a daily commitment. Some days you may feel strong, and other days the weight may feel unbearable. That is normal. Power is not about never breaking down. It is about rising again after you break. Each time you say, "I can do it," you reclaim a piece of yourself from the grip of pain. Slowly, you rebuild. Slowly, you rise. And with each step, your pain evolves into strength, compassion, and wisdom. So remember, pain is not just suffering. Pain is energy. You can let it consume you, or you can redirect it into something powerful. Every hardship you face can be the foundation for a new level of courage. Every tear you shed can water the soil of your growth. And every moment you choose to endure can make you a symbol of resilience for others. Embrace your uniqueness. One of the most beautiful lessons life teaches us, often through difficulty, is that we are not meant to fit into a mold. We are not designed to be copies of one another. Yet, for most of our lives, society tries to convince us otherwise. It tells us what beauty looks like, what success should be, how a perfect life is supposed to appear. And in chasing those illusions, we often forget the most important truth: our uniqueness is our strength. When you say to yourself, "I can do it," you are not only affirming your capability, you are also affirming your right to be authentically you. To embrace your uniqueness means to accept the things that make you different, even when the world calls them flaws. Muniba Mazari has always said that the world will label you in countless ways, but you don't have to live by their labels. People may call you broken, weak, or less than, but your uniqueness lies not in what they call you, but in how you choose to define yourself. For her, the wheelchair that many might see as a limitation became a symbol of possibility. Instead of being embarrassed by it, she chose to own it, to sit on it proudly, and to speak from it powerfully. That is the essence of embracing uniqueness, turning what others dismiss into what you celebrate. So often, we spend years comparing ourselves to others. We scroll through lives on screens. We measure our worth against someone else's achievements. We chase after standards that were never meant for us. But comparison is a thief. It steals joy. It steals creativity. It steals confidence. The moment you stop comparing is the moment you begin living. Uniqueness is not about being better than anyone else. It is about being the best version of yourself. When you embrace your uniqueness, you no longer feel the need to dim your light just to make others comfortable. You shine in your own way, even if your light is different from theirs. Embracing uniqueness also requires courage, because being yourself in a world that constantly pressures you to conform is not easy. You may feel judged, misunderstood, or even rejected. But remember, every person who has left a mark on this world did so by daring to be different. Think of artists, inventors, leaders. They all refused to hide their uniqueness. They turned their differences into contributions. In the same way, your voice, your perspective, your story holds a value that no one else can replicate. If you hide it, the world loses something irreplaceable. Another important part of embracing uniqueness is self-love. Many of us are kind to others but cruel to ourselves. We criticize our looks, our abilities, our failures. But the truth is, you cannot embrace your uniqueness if you are constantly fighting with yourself. Self-love does not mean arrogance. It means recognizing that you are worthy just as you are. It means looking in the mirror and appreciating the reflection, even when it carries scars, wrinkles, or differences. It means saying, I am enough, before the world gives you permission. Muniba Mazari often reminds people, you are perfectly imperfect, and in those imperfections you carry your humanity, your beauty, your uniqueness. When you accept and embrace yourself fully, something magical happens. You give others the courage to do the same. People around you begin to feel safe in their own skin because you dare to feel safe in yours. Your uniqueness becomes a ripple effect, spreading confidence and authenticity. This is why saying I can do it is not just about achieving goals. It is about embracing who you are while doing so. You can walk your path with dignity, even if it looks nothing like the path others walk. So, the third key to empowerment is simple, but profound: embrace your uniqueness. Celebrate the things that make you stand out instead of hiding them. Wear your scars as symbols of survival, your struggles as stories of strength, and your differences as badges of honor. Remember, you are not here to fit in, you are here to stand out. And every time you whisper, I can do it, you are also saying, I can do it my way, with all the uniqueness that makes you who you are. Resilience in the face of failure, a word that most of us fear, a reality that every one of us faces. It comes uninvited, leaving behind disappointment, self-doubt, and the temptation to quit. But Muniba Mazari's journey teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Each time life knocks you down, you are given two choices: to stay on the ground or to rise again. And every time you rise, whispering to yourself, I can do it, you build resilience, the very muscle that carries you from failure to fulfillment. Resilience is not about never falling. It is about never staying down. It is about understanding that failure is not the end of your story, but a chapter that makes the story more powerful. Think of the most inspiring people in the world. None of them reached success without facing failure. They stumbled, they struggled, and they often felt like giving up. But what made them extraordinary was not their immunity to failure, but their refusal to be defined by it. In the same way, your failures do not define you, your response to them does. When you face failure, it is easy to believe the lies your mind tells you: I am not good enough. I should stop trying. I will never succeed. But resilience begins when you challenge those lies. Failure is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof that you had the courage to try. Many people never fail simply because they never dare to attempt anything meaningful. But you dared, and that courage alone is worth celebrating. Each failure brings with it a lesson, a piece of wisdom, and an opportunity to grow. Muniba Mazari's life itself is a testament to resilience. After her accident, she lost more than physical ability. She lost dreams she had once envisioned. But instead of letting those shattered dreams bury her spirit, she built new ones. She painted when she couldn't walk. She spoke when she couldn't move. She inspired when she could have chosen silence. That is resilience, finding new roads when old ones collapse. Her story shows us that resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about facing it, using it, and rising stronger because of it. Resilience in the face of failure also means patience. Too often we expect instant results. When things don't work immediately, we declare ourselves failures. But success is rarely instant. It is built through repeated attempts, through mistakes and corrections, through persistence that refuses to give up. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall countless times, but they don't stop trying. Why? Because somewhere deep within, they believe they can do it. That same childlike resilience still exists within you. Every time you get back up after failure, you are walking closer to your goal. Another part of resilience is adaptability. Failure often happens because the path we chose did not work. But that does not mean the destination is impossible. It only means we need to find another route. Resilience is about being flexible enough to change strategies without abandoning the dream. Like water flowing around rocks, resilience finds its way around obstacles. You may need to adjust your approach, learn new skills, or even start over. But as long as you hold on to the belief, I can do it, you remain unstoppable. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of resilience is the way it transforms your identity. Every time you rise after failure, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your setbacks. You stop fearing failure because you realize it cannot destroy you. It can only shape you. Slowly, your failures become your teachers, and resilience becomes your companion. With each lesson, you gain confidence, humility, and strength. And those who once doubted you will one day look at your journey and see that your failures were not your downfall, but your stepping stones. So, the fourth key to empowerment is to build resilience in the face of failure. Do not let your mistakes paralyze you. Instead, let them propel you. Stand tall after every fall. And remind yourself that resilience is not about perfection but persistence. You are not defined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise. And each rise is a declaration of your spirit, a reminder to the world and to yourself, I can do it. Hope as the driving force. Hope is the invisible thread that holds us together when everything else seems to be falling apart. It is that quiet voice at the back of your mind which whispers, try one more time, even when the world is screaming, give up. Hope is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing to see beyond it. And when you say to yourself, I can do it, what you are really doing is feeding the flame of hope inside you. There will be times when life seems unbearable. Times when you are surrounded by darkness so thick that you cannot see the next step. It is in these moments that hope becomes your guiding light. Muniba Mazari often reminds us that hope is not something you wait to feel. It is something you choose to create. Her story is the embodiment of this truth. After her accident, she could have chosen despair, but she didn't. She chose hope. She held on to the belief that her life still had meaning, that her voice still had power, and that her future could still be painted with colors of purpose. That choice didn't remove her pain, but it gave her the strength to rise above it. Hope is powerful because it gives you direction. Without hope, every effort feels meaningless. With hope, even the smallest step feels significant. Hope transforms obstacles into challenges and failures into lessons. It reminds you that the story is not over yet, that there are chapters yet to be written. When you say, I can do it, you are reminding yourself that the future is not defined by your present struggles, but by your persistence to move forward. But hope does not come without effort. It must be nurtured like a delicate plant. You nurture hope by surrounding yourself with positivity, by focusing on gratitude, and by setting your eyes on possibilities rather than limitations. Every time you choose to look for light instead of dwelling in the dark, you are watering the seed of hope within you. And when hope grows, it gives you resilience, courage, and faith. Hope is also contagious. Just as despair can spread and break spirits, hope can spread and heal hearts. When you embody hope, when you live as if tomorrow can be brighter, you inspire those around you to believe the same. Muniba's hope didn't just carry her, it lifted thousands of others who heard her story. She turned her personal hope into a collective one, reminding us all that no matter how broken we feel, we can still rise. And that is the beauty of hope. It multiplies when shared. So, the fifth key to empowerment is to hold on to hope as your driving force. Even when everything seems against you, let hope be the anchor that keeps you steady and the wings that help you rise. Because as long as there is hope, there is possibility. As long as there is hope, there is courage. And as long as there is hope, there is life. In the end, the journey of I Can Do It is not about never facing pain, failure, or doubt. It is about believing in your own possibility, turning pain into power, embracing your uniqueness, building resilience, and holding on to hope. These 5 keys are not just lessons, they are lifelines. Every time you remind yourself I can do it, you are not merely speaking words, you are rewriting your destiny. Remember this, your circumstances do not define you, your choices do. Your scars do not make you weak, they make you human. And your hope, no matter how fragile, has the power to carry you through the darkest nights. So, whenever life tries to convince you otherwise, stand tall, look at yourself, and declare with conviction, I can do it. And you will.